So what the heck is gaslighting? We're going to break it down in this video. Hey there, I'm Dr. Melissa. I'm a trauma expert and top doctor. And in this video and on this channel, I help you identify the hidden narcissists in your life so that you can turn that trauma into gold, rising above it to become stronger and more powerful than you ever were before. If that is exactly what you need, click subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Today we're talking about gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulation tactic that is used to gain power and control by making their victim question their reality. Gaslighting is very subtle, very insidious, hidden really, and is always intentional. So why does a narcissist gaslight people? There's really just one reason. It is to destabilize you, to create weakness so that they are able to take control of you, to gain power over you, so that they get their narcissistic supply. Now, how does a narcissist confuse your reality, right? If you haven't experienced this, it sounds crazy. And if you have experienced it, you know that it is crazy making. The narcissist uses lying, blaming, deflecting, and denial to completely distort your own reality, to make you question what you know to be true, to make you question your memories. And so there are a lot of effects on you as a result of gaslighting. Destabilization, first and foremost. It's making you feel really rattled, off balance almost, really unsure of yourself and what's going on. You're not able to respond from a position of strength because you're so confused about what's even happening. And through this destabilization, this creating weakness in you, they create confusion. You start to doubt yourself, your beliefs, your feelings, your memories. You no longer know what is true. You feel like you're going crazy. You feel like something is wrong with you. And through this whole process, they groom you into believing that they are the one you should trust for the truth, that they're the ones holding the reality. And you start to trust their version of reality more than you trust your own. That's scary. So let's talk about some examples of gaslighting. Say you're having a conversation with your sister and you're like, oh, do you remember last week when we were out to coffee and we ran into Steve from high school? It was so great catching up with him. And your sister's like, that never happened. I haven't seen Steve since high school. What are you talking about? And you're like, wait a minute. Let's back this up. Remember, like last week, it was last Tuesday, we were at the Starbucks, on such and such road at like 11 in the morning, and we were sitting at this table, and he came up and was like, hey, strangers. And she's like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're like, what in the heck is going on here? Like, this is my sister. Like, what, did I dream this? How could I have this very clear memory of something that happened last week and she's saying it didn't happen? This is like completely confusing. And the thing that's interesting about an example like that is it's not actually to her benefit. What she is lying or gaslighting about doesn't actually help her in any way. Like, who cares if you ran into someone from high school or not, right? It's irrelevant. But it destabilizes you. It makes you question and doubt yourself. And if the same thing happened, say you had been out to a bar with the sister or out to a bar with a narcissist friend and you had the exact same conversation and they're like, oh yeah, I think maybe you had a little too much to drink. Then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're racking your brains, right? Like you're like, I only had 2 drinks. I remember doing this. I didn't pass out. I didn't have any experience that suggested I had too much to drink. Did I really have too much to drink? Did I have more drinks than I didn't know about it? And you start questioning. You start wondering what in the world is going on, because here is this person who is telling you that their experience was different. Here's an example of someone gaslighting you about your feelings. So say you are a supervisor and you have an employee who didn't do some aspect of their job correctly. And you walk up to the employee and, in a very matter-of-fact, direct, kind, non-triggered way, you say, oh, hey, you know what, Jerry, when you do this, I need you to do these 3 steps so that this part doesn't need to be redone. And if he were to respond and say, why are you so angry? Why are you yelling? Now, mind you, a narcissist is going to do this one always in front of other people, because this is a great way to recruit flying monkeys, right? So even though the other people did not hear you yell and you are not at all angry, this person is going to lead them to believe that you are through their gaslighting. So now later when Jerry's in the break room and he's talking to the other coworkers, the people that you supervise, and he's like, yeah, she's always so angry. I wish she could just, give me feedback in a nice way. I'd be happy to do it differently. Now he's building the support of the flying monkeys. He's triangulating by making them think poorly of you. And in reality, none of it's real, because you weren't angry, you weren't yelling, and you just delivered a correction, which was your job as a supervisor. Here's a really extreme example of gaslighting that makes someone really wonder what is going on and whether or not they're going crazy. And that is moving or hiding something. So for example, say you come home every day from work and you always put your keys in the same spot, and you just put your keys there. You were very intentional about it. And now an hour later, you're looking to go somewhere and your keys are not there and you can't find them anywhere. If you are living with a narcissist, chances are they have moved your keys to make you think that you're crazy, because you just put them there. And now you're doubting yourself, right? Because your thought doesn't go to, there's some messed up person in this household who is totally playing with me, toying with me in a way that is really sick. No, your thought process is like, what in the heck is going on? The keys were in my hand. I remember walking through the door. I remember setting them here. I set my purse there. I did whatever. And it makes you start to doubt yourself. You start to doubt what in the world is going on. I've heard stories and extreme examples of people who will take someone's keys and move their car so that, say someone comes home after having been out at the bar with the guys, and maybe they only had 2 beers and it was no big deal at all. They come home, significant other takes the keys, moves the car, and then leads them to believe that they had more to drink than they thought. So you don't even remember where you parked. You had to be impaired, when this is not true. Those are obviously extreme examples, and they happen. Watch out for them. So once you know someone is gaslighting you, how do you end this insanely ridiculous and devastating form of emotional and psychological abuse? How do you get them to stop? And there's really only one way, and that is to disengage, to not react. Oh, so my keys aren't here now, or so my car's moved, whatever. Or to continue about your business and your work day and completely ignore the, why are you so angry? Why are you yelling? And just continue to speak calmly and move about your day. Now, that's not to say that life is going to be easy. And in fact, eliminating the narcissist in your life is the fastest route to peace, especially if they live in your household. But sometimes we can't do that, right? Sometimes we have procedures we have to follow before we could fire an employee, or maybe we're not prepared to just change jobs today, and maybe we can't get rid of a family member and never see them again, and we have to deal with it. And so in those instances, really the best way is to disengage. Make sure that they're not getting any narcissistic supply from it. It will be no fun, and they will seek someone else to target if you can stand in your truth. If you can know, no, that's not true. I know what happened. That's not true. And move on. It'll take all the fun out of it for them. It'll make their tactic no longer effective. in gaining the narcissistic supply, and it'll happen a whole lot less often. If you've experienced gaslighting, if you've had someone make you doubt your reality and doubt your truth, type "I know my truth" in the comments, and then share this video with someone who needs this message. If you'd like to join this movement to end narcissism, either as a survivor or as a supporter, join the free private Facebook group at Anti-Fragile Narcissist Survivors. And most importantly, if you'd like help with this, if you'd like extra support rising above the trauma, the drama, the chaos that is left in the wake of a narcissist, rising above it so that you can become who you are really created to be, join me at liveantifragile.com. I'm Dr. Melissa, and I'll see you in the next video.